Davey.
Thank you, Acting Deputy President. Look, I agree with the calls for us all to share accurate information about the efficacy of COVID vaccines. I would also say that it is commensurate on all of us to share accurate information about jurisdictional reach and to share accurate information about what we can do unilaterally as a federal government and what we can't. Who is responsible for what? And let's also consider and be accurate about what people are currently protesting against, because yes, facts matter. For those who are currently protesting against restrictions, and that is what they're protesting against. They're not protesting against vaccine mandates because there are no vaccine mandates. They are protesting against restrictions based on vaccination status and differential treatment of those who are or who are not fully vaccinated. Those restrictions have been put in place by the state and territory governments. These are state and territory decisions under state and territory laws. They are following their public health orders. It is not the Commonwealth Government's place to be able to usurp those. So, the bill that we saw this morning that many people have referred to in this afternoon's debate was designed to try and usurp state rights. Now that's a very slippery slope to start going down. Where do we stop? But that bill this morning, a bill that was supposedly to stop government overreach, was government overreach writ large. Our government's position has and always will be that COVID-19 vaccination should be voluntary, except in highly exceptional circumstances such as people who work in health and aged care. Senator Lambie said it very well this morning, and for anyone who didn't listen, I encourage you to go and listen to her Hansard, because she explained that vaccination is a choice, and in certain industries, the choice is you get a vaccination or find another calling. Now, that is not new. Certain employment arrangements have had vaccination requirements for decades. In New South Wales, you haven't been able to be a nurse without being vaccinated against whooping cough. In many aged care facilities, it's been mandatory to get a flu shot, not just once, but annually. The issue we are currently seeing is not really about those accepted norms for vaccine requirements in exceptional circumstances, but it is being driven by fear. And when I looked deeper into Senator Hanson's bill this morning, it caused me fear, because that bill also, it didn't just prohibit governments from mandating vaccines for their own workers. It prevented the Commonwealth, state or territory governments from entering into an agreement, providing funding, or granting a licence to a permit or entity, be it government or private, or a charity or an NGO, an entity that is reasonably likely to discriminate on the basis of COVID vaccination. And that reasonably likely test is, have they put in restrictions in the past? Are you serious? That bill would have seen organisations such as St John's Ambulance, who are a fantastic organisation that provide excellent first aid support and community programs. They would have been restricted, prevented from receiving funding or contracting to a state government. Our charities would have been impacted. You know, sorry Red Cross, next time there's a Black Summer bushfire, you can't have any money because you might require your first aid instructors who teach things like resuscitation to actually be vaccinated against something like the COVID-19 virus. Salvation Army and St Vincent de Paul, who work with the homeless and vulnerable, would have been prohibited from receiving grants or funding if they ask their volunteers who work with the most vulnerable people in our society to vaccinate to protect them. And private hospitals, well, sorry, St Vincent's Hospital in Sydney, part of the St Vincent Health Australia, but who provide full-service public teaching hospital, not anymore under Senator Hanson's bill. So yes, facts matter. And the fact of the matter is that our government believes in voluntary vaccination But the states are applying restrictions, but also...
Time has expired.
Thank you.
Authorised by Parent Davey, The Nationals, Danila Quinn.